Hi, I'm Belinda Carli, the Director of the Institute of Personal Care Science. And today I'm going to show you how to make a delightfully light but good coverage whipped mousse foundation. This is the product we're going to be making here, and it's got a beautiful bouncy light texture. And that comes from the materials we use and the way we mix it. Let me show you how it's made. Now first of all, I just want to prepare my water phase. So here is my water, here's my glycerin, and here is Cosmoderm X Soft. It's a high quality xanthan. I'm using this one because it doesn't have a tacky skin feel, and I do want a fair bit of gum in this formula because it's that gum that is going to hold air in the formula and give it that beautiful whipped mousse-like appearance. Even over time, that air is going to remain trapped in that formula. Another really important thing in this formula, and more so the method, is to introduce a lot of air. Now in a lab, you can use a stick blender. I'm not a big fan of using stick blenders in lab size samples most of the time, simply because they introduce too much air into the product. But in a product like this, we want to introduce a lot of air. So it's a fantastic mixer to use. Now when you're mixing larger batches, you simply want to make sure that you mount your stirrers to create a vortex so that they suck a lot of air into the product, and that way you get a similar amount of air in your formula. So now I'm just going to add this to the water phase. And give it a really good stir. Again, in a larger batch, we could just make sure we're mixing and creating a vortex. And you'll see we've created quite a nice gel with lots of air trapped in there, and that's important. Now I'm just going to heat up my water phase. I have my oil phase here already pre-combined and measured out. I'm just going to heat these and combine them to form my emulsion. Now while they're heating, let me talk you through another really important addition in this formula. I've got my titanium dioxide and my iron oxides measured out here, but I'm using phytic acid coated materials. Now this is really important because these sort of colorants, where they're phytic acid coated, are able to drop straight into my water phase. Normally I would have to grind my pigments separately, add them in the oil phase and mix them as part of my emulsion, and of course then they're part of the oil phase. It would impact the stability of this formula. But instead, using the phytic acid coated colorants, I don't have to grind them, so it makes that manufacturing step null and void, but it also makes mixing them into the product really easy at the end because these simply drop and dissolve straight into water. So I can make my emulsion, I can get a lot of air into this formula, mixing it without these heavy pigments, and then once I've got my real mousse-like texture to my product and lots of air, I can add in my phytic acid coated colorants and create more air in another mixing step. These will go straight into the formula. I don't have to worry about stabilizing them because they're fully water soluble. Now that we've formed our emulsion, it's time to mix and introduce that air. You can see we've got this delightfully fluffy emulsion happening. Now we can just add these phytic acid coated colorants and stir through. Now we can give it another whip. We can then add in our preservative and antioxidant. You could also add any extracts or actives at this point. Give them a good stir through. Now we can just check and adjust the pH. And you can see we've created a delightfully whipped mousse foundation. Now this will set overnight, but by trapping so much air into it during the mixing process, it means that when consumers get it, they will get to experience this delightfully light mousse-like product. Now just remember, there was a couple of really important things about creating this product to get that beautiful whipped mousse-like texture. First of all, make sure you introduce a lot of air into your formula. This is important. Normally, we try and limit the air we introduce into a formula, but in this case, we need the air in the formula. So create vortexes during the mixing phase to get a lot of air in there. Using a lot of gum is also really important. This gum is going to help trap the air while the waxes in the formula set into their emulsion formation. So I've used a good quality xanthan gum. It will help give stability to this formula, but it also helps trap the air. And using a high quality grade means it's not sticky or tacky on the skin on application. Finally, because this is majority water phase, to make the mixing super easy, I've used phytic acid coated colorants. Now, if you're a small brand, contact Sensient and then make sure you join our Cosmetic Raw Materials for Small Brands Facebook group so that you could split packs or share with others who also want to use these amazing colorant materials. Normally, when you make color foundations, there is a grinding step involved. You need to grind the pigments to get this beautiful homogeneous color, and you normally need to put them into the oil phase. Using the phytic acid colorants mean we can just drop them straight into the water continuous phase at the end of this formula. So they're a very important addition into the stability and form of this particular formulation. Well, there you go. That's how to make one of these beautiful mousse foundations. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please leave any questions or comments below and make sure you subscribe to receive notifications about all our videos. Happy formulating!